Alright, sir. First and foremost, we need to address the larger technique concepts at play here, specifically your starting hand position, wrist, arm, thumb juxtaposition. Here's you now. Digging into these blues riffs, you start out in this position where you've created distance with this that can really be just turned into that without changing too much. Nonetheless, what we want to avoid are the following things. Having your arm up too high, with or without your palm being up here fretting, such that you'll see your thumb off to the side like that. At one point it was really hard to push down and our hand disappears behind the instrument. Instead, we just want to, so this is you today. So we just relax shoulder, elbow, which of course will feel like a minor relief, and then just get your palm off the instrument. Okay, it's really similar to classical position. So the more time you can spend actually addressing that, the better. It takes 300 to 500 reps of something to master it, but 10 times as long to unlearn another version, according to muscle memory study things I've read and heard quoted. Hey, here is what Knopfler did. We had just left off at this, anyway, now he goes back to this B flat chord and does an arpeggiation through it. Now that's down, 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 up, up. We don't just alternate pick that. Now I can't swear to whether he's going to make it sound single notey or just and ceasing to push down, with those two strings when he does both of them. Either way would be a legit thing to do. As long as when we get to this point in our lives we're not hearing the low notes, we're psyched. So whichever one seems to work for you. And then, though it would be so nice if it was just linear and we had a sixth finger out here, we're going to move up the fretboard and use that same shape, but as though we're playing in first position. Mind your technique. Most common time to end up like this is having just moved up the fretboard. There would never be a downside to having your thumb parallel to your index and middle like that, whether we're in classical position or down up. It just moves along. If this happens, it leads to the whole thing. And moving up the fretboard, very common, so troubleshooting you. This speaks again to why we want to take an approach of thinking about every lick on its own adequately, not starting at the beginning and making it sound like the song right off the bat. You might even trick yourself by randomizing the order of licks after you've learned it. Do third lick, first lick, second lick. Just really try to kick your brain into, okay, I'm going to memorize this. And our recipe for it today was that you're going to do each lick in the super hyper-conscious focus headspace twice before you move on. And that's the only way you're going to get all the technique concepts down. So there we have it, end of speech. So we just went, and then he goes, excuse me. So that whole thing, aside from it's my ring finger, an index, which doesn't, if that was the entirety of recorded music, we'd use a different fingering, but that's us, so we're like, then exactly, again, section, and we get this. So now we're up here playing pentatonic 1. I'll again just remind you about your thumb position, and I want you to start this as a separate section. Okay, so he does that. Let's cease to play those few notes, because he then goes, and that's the thing we're really working on. It's like the thing we did there, but on the fourth string. So yeah, you just push up really hard, and we also talked about how digging in behind the strings is the way to make them not sound when you bend, but that's something that you probably can't just will yourself to correct, except over maybe weeks or months. The way, give it a shot. Here's us. We just went. There we go. everything from today. Or no, you're good. You know, we were like... And so, one correction in the BB King video, in this, the index finger bend, it is a bend, but it's on the video I sent to Yvonne, it was, like he actually articulated the bend, and he often would, but having heard it more today, it's actually, this is a normal bend, then this one, we bend, then strike. So it's like he just wants the timbre and feel of going like that. And it does sound different than just going. Section. So, and then we get our back here. So there it is. Boom, ba. Good stuff. I will see you next week, Saturday noon. Little sections, finish as you go, and then have a rest of your life playing that lick. Cheers. Reminder about the BB box equating exactly to in the number 1 pentatonic box, the D and G string. Everything you've ever tried, you can go. And so forth. Cheers.